in the top 8 metros before the pandemic, factors such as supply side defaults, litigations, infrastructure incompletions in many cities. NCR is a classic example. The NBFC crisis. All of these marred the prospects of property being a lucrative investment options. There was a lot of pressure on input cost, which the supply side was not passing on to the buyer due to the down cycle. But with this revived demand, that also is now being passed on, to the home buyer.
The Urban Development Department of Maharashtra has formed a 5-member committee headed by the Thane District Collector to probe allegations that developers in Kalyan Dombivali Municipal Corporation (KDMC) area near Mumbai used fake documents to obtain construction approvals. Hello everyone, Namaskar, Salaam, Akal, Vanakkam. We're back with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com. This is India's first real estate-focused podcast. It brings you updates, views, and insights about the realty sector, an explainer on a chosen subject, and a deep dive into an industry, trend, or topic. Maharashtra forms panel to probe developers who used fake documents to get approvals. The residential property market witnessed an average year-on-year price appreciation of 6% during the April-June period of this year, according to a latest PropTiger.com report. We spoke to Ankita Sood, Head of Research, PropTiger.com, Housing.com and Makan.com to share her insights on housing price trends and how does paying rent on a credit card affect your credit utilization ratio, and why home renters should visit Housing.com to make the journey per se perfect. Details of all these and much more in this episode. Stay tuned. The Urban Development Department of Maharashtra has formed a 5-member committee headed by the Thane District Collector to probe allegations that developers in Kalyan Dombivali Municipal Corporation (KDMC) area near Mumbai used fake documents to obtain construction approvals. The developers used the fake documents to procure permissions from the Maharashtra Real Estate Regulatory Authority (MAHARERA), according to the KDMC. The MAHARERA has cancelled the registration of more than 60 real estate projects since last year after the allegations surfaced. All the projects are located 50 to 150 kilometers from Mumbai in the KDMC area, which is part of the Mumbai metropolitan region. More than 60 developers are being investigated. The committee will include 2 members of the KDMC. The committee has been directed to submit its report within 2 months, according to a state government resolution issued on July 5. According to the KDMC, the accused developers had allegedly cheated home buyers from 27 villages by forging documents. The documents appeared to show that permission for the construction of houses had been issued by the KDMC and the papers were used to register the projects under RERA. The fraud allegedly took place from 2017 to 2022, and home buyers shelled out Rs 25 lakh to Rs 35 lakh for each tenement built by these developers. Following this, the MAHARERA started suo motu hearings and said it would approach the Urban Development Department of Maharashtra to immediately put in place a system to make details of all milestone approvals relevant to the buyers of real estate projects available online. In February 2023, the Maharashtra government directed municipal corporations, councils, and local authorities in towns to publish data on all relevant approvals for real estate projects, including commencement certificates and occupation certificates, on a website for easy public access. The residential property market witnessed an average year-on-year price appreciation of 6% during the April-June period of this year, according to a latest PropTiger.com report. The Real Inside Residential April-June 2023 report, a quarterly analysis of India's top 8 residential markets by REA-backed PropTiger.com, has shown that the weighted average price of residential properties across 8 major Indian cities reached Rs 7,000 to Rs 7,200 per square feet during the April-June period. This is a 6% increase compared to the corresponding period in the previous year. The markets covered in the report include Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Mumbai Metropolitan Region, Delhi National Capital Region, and Pune. During the April-June period, housing sales across the 8 major cities recorded an 8% annual increase to 80,250 units. The growth in sales can be attributed to increased demand, especially in Mumbai and Pune. In the same period last year, April to June 2022, sales stood at 74,320 units in the primary residential markets in the top 8 cities. According to the data, Ahmedabad experienced a 7% year-on-year increase in prices during the second quarter of 2023, reaching Rs 3,700 to Rs 3,900 per square feet. Bengaluru witnessed a 9% increase, with prices averaging at Rs 6,300 to Rs 6,500 per square feet. Delhi NCR observed 6% growth to Rs 4,800 to Rs 5,000 per square feet. Meanwhile, Gurugram in the National Capital Region saw a 12% appreciation, with prices reaching Rs 7,000 to Rs 7,200 per square feet, while Noida, also in the NCR, experienced an 8% rise to Rs 5,600 to Rs 5,800 per square feet. In Mumbai and Pune, both key property markets in Maharashtra, housing prices increased by 3% each. Mumbai's weighted average price stood at Rs 10,100 to Rs 10,300 per square feet, while Pune's rates were Rs 5,600 to Rs 5,800 per square feet. We spoke to Ankita Sood, head of research, PropTiger.com, Housing.com and Makan.com, to help us with her insights and understand the trends. Listen in. A very warm welcome, Ankita. Delighted to have you on the show as always.
Thank you for having me again, Gaurav. It's always a delight to be here.
Ankita, housing prices have been climbing in the major Indian cities in the post-COVID years. What are the levers for this price change, Ankita?
So, Gaurav, I have a very, I would have a lot of insights, but I would try and keep it short. As rightly mentioned, property prices have definitely been rising at a faster pace across the top 8 cities as compared to, when we compare it to the pre-pandemic levels. Now, to give our listeners some context, while the property prices were increasing, in the lower teens to 2 to 3% on an average in the top 8 metros before the pandemic, factors such as, supply side defaults, litigations, infrastructure incompletions in many cities, NCR is a classic example, the NBFC crisis, all of these marred the prospects of property being a lucrative investment options. Now, the sector obviously was plagued by all of these factors, and hence the property market was not a lucrative option for investment. However, in 16, with the coming in of RERA, there has been a lot of straitjacketing, and the much needed transparency has been pumped into the system. Supply side consolidation has taken place. And to top this, the pandemic, however an unfortunate period it was, it impacted lives and livelihood, but it reinforced the importance of home ownership, not merely as an investment asset class, but also to hedge as, security. Now, all of this, the pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, we see that definitely now there's increased concentration towards having your own home, not only as an investment asset class, but also for your own end use. All of these has attracted investors and end users alike. And that is why we see this, increased demand and hence the surge in property prices. Also, I would like to add here that, there was a lot of pressure on input cost, which the supply side was not passing on to the buyer due to the down cycle. But with this revived demand, that also is now being passed on, to the home buyer. We definitely see that the weighted average prices have now consistently been rising, in the range of 6 to 7% in the past 2 years. But if we deep dive into locality level trends, the key micro markets across cities such as Gurugram, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Pune, they have witnessed double-digit growth in property prices. Now, coming to some of the levers, as I highlighted, streamlining of the sector and a boost in demand in home ownership, has these two specifically have been key levers, especially post the pandemic. If you ask me to just narrow it down, Home buyers today are looking to upgrade their space configurations, and also they want to close in on purchases that elevates their lifestyle. So end user, investor alike are looking at the property markets with a renewed interest. And definitely we are in the real estate upcycle. Hence the price increase is being witnessed across the cities and even in the tier 2 cities, Gaurav.
Ankita, Gurugram saw a year on year weighted average property price increase of 12% in the second quarter of 2023, surpassing Bengaluru at 9% and Noida at 8%. Can you elaborate more in this trend, Ankita?
Gurugram, if I say, definitely has witnessed the highest price appreciation as compared to its peers since the past few quarters. Now, the Gurugram property market has definitely seen good traction for both luxury and mid segment housing, indicating a strong demand from end users and investors alike. In fact, all key micro markets such as the Golf Course Road, Golf Course Extension, the Southern Peripheral Road, if I get down deeper into localities, New Gurgaon, have all witnessed significant surge in prices, and specifically for the ready to move in inventory that's commanding a premium. Definitely there is a demand supply mismatch here. Across these areas there is a dearth or limited supply of new supply or under construction projects. And yes, because predominantly it's the end user, they are seeking ready to move in inventory. So that actually has pushed up the prices across these localities. And one of the drivers, if you ask me, for Gurgaon to actually be, coming on top, is that consumers are seeking improved amenities and an enhanced lifestyle. And we also see there's been a lot of migration that has been happening from the peripheral areas of Gurgaon, including Delhi. The condo living culture include the gated communities, amenities, upgradation of lifestyle, the apartment culture. Uh, all of these things are attracting end users for, obviously getting into the Gurgaon market. And definitely all of that is very much visible in the numbers as well.
Despite a price rise, however, the housing demand continues to remain robust. Will this trend continue in coming quarters, Ankita?
Sure. As we discussed many times in our previous episodes as well, and by now our listeners would be more attuned to why is it happening. There definitely has been a shift towards home ownership over renting a home, right? Now, this shift in sentiments, coupled with rise in disposable income, to an extent has cushioned the impact of the rising property prices and the interest rates going up for home buyers who are looking to buy in the mid to high segment. However, I'll add that there has been an impact of these increased prices on the lower end of the segment. And we definitely, we are seeing that the demand for the less than 45 lakh price bracket has sequentially shrunk in the past quarters. So yes, a particular segment is on the rise, but the market share of the lower end of the spectrum has significantly come down. Now, with the emerging, patterns of internal migration that we are witnessing across the top metros, we definitely see, to answer your question, Gaurav, property market momentum will continue to sustain in the coming quarters as well, yes.
Thank you so much, Ankita, for taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation with us.
Thank you for having me, Gaurav. Thank you so much.
Rent is a recurring expense. Traditionally, rent payments have been made through checks or bank transfers. However, with the rise of digital payment methods, many individuals are considering paying rent on a credit card. While this may seem like a convenient option, it is important to understand the potential downsides associated with using a credit card for rent payments. Specifically, how does paying rent on a credit card affect your credit utilization ratio? For people staying on rent, paying it is unquestionably one of the largest monthly expenses as per their monthly budget. It is important to pay your rent on time to avoid any penalties. To manage the cash flow, you might consider using a credit card to pay your rent. But did you know that aside from the many advantages of paying rent on a credit card, it may also have a negative impact by affecting your credit utilization ratio? There are a few factors to consider before using a credit card to pay for rent. If you aren't able to pay your credit card bills on time, the cost of paying your rent with a credit card will significantly increase. Evaluate the following pointers before proceeding with using a credit card to pay for rent. Fees. Processing fees are frequently associated with credit card rent payments. For instance, if your rent payment is Rs 35,000 and your processing fee is 2.99%, your monthly outlay will increase by Rs 1,046.50. Interest charges. Your outstanding balance will accrue interest if you don't pay your credit card bill in whole and on time. The amount that you must pay will increase due to the higher interest rate and processing fee. Impact on a credit rating. Rent payments made using a credit card may result in an increase in your credit utilization ratio, which in turn lowers your credit score. You should maintain your credit utilization ratio low, generally less than 30%, as it is important for determining your credit score. It should be remembered that using a credit card to pay your rent can result in excessive interest fees. If the fees aren't paid on time, the interest is too high at 35 to 40%. Therefore, only utilize it if you are confident in your ability to make timely payments. If your financial situation does not improve immediately, this should only be your very last resort because paying off credit card debt will become difficult. Why visit Housing.com to pay rent and much more? Housing.com has made renting a home easier and more rewarding than ever before. Their user-friendly platform enables renters to conveniently pay rent using a credit card, providing an opportunity to earn multiple cashback rewards and exclusive offers with every payment. That's not all. Housing.com goes above and beyond to enhance the journey for its users. For those seeking financial assistance to realize their dream home, the platform offers hassle-free loan options specifically designed to cover security deposits or down payments for the new abode. Understanding the value of peace of mind, Housing.com introduces its unique Rent Protect feature, providing renters with the option to ensure their rent payments, ensuring a worry-free experience. Prospective renters are invited to visit Housing.com now and embark on their perfect home journey with the assurance of per se perfect. That's it from us for this episode. We shall be back again with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com with information and insights on the real estate industry. You can catch the episode on Housing.com, on the Housing.com app, on earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Ghana.com, and Geo7. Take care and stay safe.